Alright, you guys, here is a really nice recording of the review if you want to watch and see how this is done. Okay, so number one, I'm going to graph f of x equals 2/3 times the absolute value of x minus 5 plus 2. Okay, so I know what an absolute value graph looks like. It's the v. And I know I'm going to go to a translation of over 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because you do the opposite, and up 2, okay? I have a slope of 2/3. I'm going to go up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3. It is the v, because the absolute value graph, so I'll go 2, 3 this direction, 2, 3 this direction, and I'll get my graph that looks like this. Okay, I think everybody can do this. Domain and range. Okay, now domain is the x values. Of course, it goes forever in both directions, so domain's easy. Domain is simply going to be x equals all real numbers. And the range, though, it doesn't have any negative values below here. It starts at a height of 2 and goes up, so y is greater than or equal to 2. Okay, hopefully you guys can do this. I have faith in you. Okay, now number 2, find the equation of this. Well, the equation of this one, if I take a look at this, it's simply going to be on number 2. I know it's going to be a y equals, it is an absolute value graph, right? I know, I'll start there. It looks like it goes down 1 over 2, so I'll slope it down 1 over 2. X, and it looks like it's shifted 3, but it's opposite, so not plus 3, but minus 3. And then it went up 2 plus 2. Okay, there you go. That's the equation of that. That's pretty easy. Okay, number 3. Okay, so we're going to do a transformation. So first of all, on 3, I'll put 3 on the graph here. I'm going to first graph f of x equals the absolute value of x. You won't need to do this on the test, but I will so that we have it. You can see how it's transformed because we're going to use words. So I'm going to graph the plain old, what we call parent function, which is up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, starting at 0, 0. And then I'm going to move it. So it says that g of x is going to equal a negative 4 times f of x minus 4 minus 6. All right, so it's going to have to go, first of all, positive 4, because the opposite and down 6. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's way down there, okay? And it's got a slope of negative 4. So down 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, down 4 over 1. So it's way down there, isn't it, right? I know. And it's pretty skinny, okay? Well, there's the graph. But I need to use words, okay? Words have to use words. What happened to words? Okay, I'm going to say that it was translated using words. I have a translation. 4 units right. And I translated 6 units down. And it is a reflection. It's upside down, reflection over x-axis, and it has a vertical stretch of 4. I want words, okay? No words, no credit, okay? All right, there it is. Let's look at then now number 4. 4, we're going to graph these, solve these, absolute value equations, just solve. Okay, well, number 4 is pretty easy. I'm going to do this on a separate sheet of paper, some of these on a separate sheet of paper, but 4 is really easy, okay? So let's take a look at 4. 4, I have absolute value of x equals 10. Remember, there's 2 answers, 2 equations, x equals 10 and x equals negative 10. That's it. Boom. Easy. Okay. Number 5, a little bit more work to do, but in 5 we need 2 equations, so I'm going to set off absolute value of x minus 3 equals 14 to have 2 equations of an x minus 3 equals 14, and or we have x minus 3 equals negative 14. Remember, you need 2 equations. You need the positive and the negative. All right, to solve, I'll go plus 3 of x equals 17. One answer, I'll go plus 3 of an x equals negative 11. Okay, there's my 2 answers. Done. 6. And again, if I get going too fast, you can always pause the video. Absolute value of 3x plus 6 minus 12 equals 18. Okay, let's tidy it up first. Let's get rid of this 12. Okay, so the first thing we do is just go plus 12 plus 12 first. So then I'll have, let's see, absolute value of 3x plus 6 equals 30, right? 18 plus 12. And now I need two equations. So my first equation is going to be, hold on, give me a second, let me scoot the paper this way. I'll have my first equation is 3x plus 6 equals 30, and the second equation is going to be a 3x plus 6 equals the negative 30, okay? And I'm just going to solve positive, negative for two equations, okay? Minus 6, 3x equals 24. Divide by 3x is 8, okay? Got it. Boom. Minus 6, 3x equals negative 36. Divide by 3x is negative 12, okay? There's my two answers, okay? You can do this. I know you can. Number 7, okay? Number 7, I have an absolute value of 3x minus 4 plus 12 equals 0. Okay, so this is going to be easy because there's a trick. You'll see the trick in a second. So first of all, let's get rid of the 12. Minus 12, and I have the absolute value of 3x minus 4 equals a negative. It equals a negative. It can't equal, absolute values can't equal negatives, cannot, because whatever goes in has to come out positive. It's impossible, so there is no solution. Cannot equal that negative, okay? 8. Let's see. 8 has a little bit more work, but we can do 8. 8 is 5 times that's the value of x plus 1 minus 10 equals 15. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the 10. Okay, I'll get rid of the 10 first. I'm going to go plus 10. I'll have 5 times the absolute value of x plus 1 equals 25. Then I'm going to get rid of 5, divide by 5. I'll have absolute value of x plus 1 equals 5. And now I need my two equations. Okay, equation 1 is x plus 1 equals 5, or x plus 1 equals the negative 5, right? And then I'll just solve. Minus 1, x equals 4. Minus 1, x equals negative 6. Okay, those are my two answers. Okay, good. 9. Inequalities, okay? 9. Absolute value of x is going to be less than 10. Okay, so we need two equations. Again, we need x is less than 10, or, actually in this case it's an and, x is going to be greater than negative 10. So when you make it negative, you turn the sign. Remember, make it negative, turn the sign. That is pretty easy to graph. I can rewrite it like this. I like it written like this. I like it written like this because in between, I like it written like that, in between negative 10 and 10. Of course, if I do a number line, there's my negative 10. There's my 10. I need open circles because there's no equal sign on that. Open circle, open circle. If it's going to be greater than 10, it's this way. If it's going to be less than 10, it's this way. So shade everything in below, in between. Number 10. Okay, let's see if I can squeeze 10 in here. Absolute value of x plus 8 is greater than or equal to 15. All right, this is an or statement. So x plus 8 is greater than or equal to 15. Or, remember, we're going to make it negative, so we turn the sign. Make it negative, so turn the sign. X plus 8 is less than or equal to negative 15. Minus 8, x is greater than or equal to 7. Minus 8, x is less than or equal to, let's see, what's that, 23? Yeah, so now, I like to write it like this. Okay, negative 23. This is the way I like to write it, so it's actually in set notation. And so it really says x is, pretty backwards, x is less than or equal to negative 23. Well, okay, negative 23 is about here. I'm just going to put these in there. And greater than or equal to 7. 7's there. Solid dots because of the equal signs. And I'm going to shade everything in between. Boom. There you go. All right. Oh, I'm wrong. I am wrong. I should have been paying attention. Doggone it. It's not that at all. I don't have any white out either. Well, it's not that. Here, I'll redraw it up above. I am so sorry. Get rid of that. Start again. Negative 23. 7. I got distracted. Solid. And I shade the opposite direction, less than, greater than. Okay, that's what I got. All right. Number 11. Okay, I'll put 11 on a different piece of paper. 11 is absolute value of x plus 3 plus 6 is greater than 2. Okay, so now minus 6, tidy it up. The absolute value of x plus 3 is greater than negative 4. Oh, that makes me worried. But now wait a minute. Whatever comes out, doesn't really matter, is always positive. So put anything in that comes out positive, right? Positive numbers will always be greater than negative 4. Any number I put in comes out positive. So that means everything. That means all numbers. That means we have an infinitely many solutions. So we have an infinitely many solutions. And on a number line, it's kind of silly, but on a number line, you just shade the whole number line, everything. Because every single point that you plug in will always come out positive, which is always going to be greater than a negative 4. All right, now number 12 might be just the opposite. We'll see absolute value of 2x plus 4 is greater than or equal to negative 12. Divide by 3. Oh, I should have done this differently. That's okay. 2x plus 4 is greater than or equal to negative 4. It's the same question. What I should have done is made that less than. If I had, then it'd be no solution, but it's the same as that one. It'd be better if it was that way. Maybe I'll change it. Anyway, moving on. Number 13. Let's look at 13. Bill's Cookie Company needs to keep the fat content down for healthy cookies. They decide fat content of 8.5 grams is acceptable, but in production they allow 2.5 difference. That's quite a bit, actually. Write an absolute value inequality. Okay, so I'm going to do this. 13. We're going to go. Y equals absolute value of x minus 8.5. Okay. Now if we graph that, we'd have 5, 10. 8.5 is right about there, and if we graphed it, it would look something like that. Okay. Now, if we also have a variance of 2.5, that's like y equals a 2.5. I could have a 1, 2, 3, a 2.5 would be like coming across like this, and I could have this range in between here, okay? So what I can do then is take my absolute value of x minus 8.5 and make sure it's less than or equal to 2.5 because of my variance, all right? So now, what's the range? Well, let's solve this, okay? So I've got an x minus 8.5 is less than or equal to 2.5, or now remember, second equation, we're going to make it negative, so we're going to turn the sign to make it negative 2.5, okay? All right, so let's solve. Plus 8.5 plus 8.5, what's that, 11, I think so? Wow, that's a lot of fat. And then plus 8, that's why I try not to eat cookies. What's that, 5.5, I think? Calculator, it's early. Let's see here, I'm sure it's 5.5, 8. Minus 2.5 is 5.5. Yes, it is. So x is greater than or equal to a 5.5. So I like it in set notation. I'd go 5.5. It's less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 11. That's grams of fat. Okay, and I can graph that on a number line. 5.5 and 11. I'd say everything in here is what we'd accept in our cookies, but 11 grams of fat's terrible. But anyway, it's a personal thing, right? Okay, and that's what I have. Now, extra credit, what you're going to try and do, and I'll just show you a picture. I'll let you see if you can figure it out, because that would be great if you could figure it out, is that you have these two equations, okay? So extra. You'd have y equals 2/3 x, and y equals a negative 2/3 x minus 4. If you graph these two, you're going to see that they can connect, okay? So if I graph a 2/3 x, up 2/3, up 2/3, 2, 3, right? And if I graph down at negative 4, and I go down 2/3, down 2/3, that these two lines could intersect. And then the idea is if you want to make an absolute value function of where they intersect, then I would just go there, and I'd have something like y equals the absolute value. Well, I got to have a slope first, so up 2 over 3 absolute value of x plus 3 minus 2. Okay, that's what I have. Good luck to everybody. Hopefully we're going to do great, okay?